Cool. Hi guys, hope you're both doing well.
Hello.
I really enjoyed the well, I love the first season, but really enjoyed the first episode of the second season too. I mean, obviously the first season, it kind of ended on a sort of twist slash kind of cliffhanger. And as audience members, we had to wait kind of patiently now for this kind of second season. What was it like for you guys? Did you speak to kind of Tom Moran and just be like, look, give us a bit of a heads up, what's going to happen here? Or did you have to kind of wait for the scripts just like we do?
Well, Tom always knew what was going to happen. So I don't know about you, but I'd always had quite a clear arc. But I mean, you've waited longer than we have. We shot about a year later, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think with all like with all of these shows, you never know whether they're going to commission it and whether it. But Tom always had a clear idea about where it was going to go. But I'm always being an actor of an old. Being an old actor, I always think this is never going to work. We're never going to be here. So I just do it and get on with it and go on to the next thing. But I was very pleasantly surprised when we discovered it was going to come back. But I had no idea what was going to happen.
It is a real kind of mind bender. I mean, is it quite fun getting the kind of scripts through for a new season? And do you get all of them in one go for a show like this? And is that quite helpful too?
Yes, all 5 scripts are written, which is so helpful. Sue Virtue talked earlier about you can always smell, I think, if a writer's got a high concept, writes a great first episode but doesn't really know where it's going, whilst Tom really does. I have to read the script in utter silence with a cup of tea and a biscuit. No one can disturb me because that first read is really important, and it's so twisty, and there are multiple loops or narratives that are happening in parallel time, and yeah, it's incredibly complicated, but I absolutely loved reading it for the first time and was really jazzed for all of the stunt and fight work.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one of those shows you do have to really think about. It's what I like most about this kind of show. It's not throwaway. It requires quite a lot of kind of concentration down to the kind of complex kind of narrative. So when someone you guys know kind of asks you about the show and they say, "Oh, what's that all about?" How do you simplify it to someone?
I think, and it's not just this show. I think a lot of shows are quite complicated in the telling, but in the seeing. You absorb it and go with it all. So I just say, watch it and see what happens.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
To verbalise it is very difficult.
Yeah. And that's not its form. That's not where it lives. It lives on the screen as a drama. And I think it's easy to understand when you're watching it, but it's harder to explain it.
Also, there are loads of answers in series 2. So Isaac, I think he slips away somewhere in season 1, and it's really exciting for the viewer to see where he's gone. And there are lots of little Easter eggs planted throughout every season, and repeated lines like "I'm not supposed to be here." I just think it's a real treat for the viewer to have to concentrate because you get really rewarded.
So what's it like coming up to shoot a second season compared to a kind of first? I guess there's that familiarity not only to the character and to the story, but to the cast, the crew, the locations, plus also often that kind of knowledge that the show's been quite well received. Does it make for quite an enjoyable shooting experience and environment when you turn up for a second season?
Yeah, I mean, for me it was very different because the first season really I did in 2 weeks, chained to a desk and just spoke to Jessica all the time, which was lovely, and Nikesh. But I did hanker to occasionally stand up and to go out and be in the fresh air. So I got to do that a lot and to have chases and stuff. So yeah, and it's lovely because you know that you're in something that people like, which makes a big difference because we are in, the entertainment business, and if it is engaging people, then that's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was really gratifying to be stopped in the street for this one because people really wanted to get into it. And I was really happy to, and really happy to hear other people's theories. That happened a lot after season 1.
This might be a silly question, but here I go. But I was thinking when watching episode 1 of the second season, where Lucy doesn't really know anything that kind of Isaac or kind of Gideon is kind of telling her. It's all kind of nonsensical to her at that stage. Is that one of the harder challenges of acting? Playing a character with no knowledge of a situation when you, as a person, have all of that knowledge? Do you almost have to rid your mind of information? Is that is that a sort of challenge when you take on a role like this?
I find it alarmingly easy to act clueless. That was probably the least challenging. because it was very. I mean, it was, and I felt like Lucy was in the position of the audience. It's a great in, right? She doesn't know what the hell is going on, and nor do the audience. So it's very relatable. The more challenging aspects are defining different characters, when it's the same character but they've taken a slightly different fork in the road. That is where the real challenge came in.
And it's a key kind of note anyway you give yourself generally on any show is that, your character doesn't know how the scene ends. You might know because you've learnt the lines, but your character doesn't know how the scene's going to end.
Yeah, and it's a really intense, kind of very proper character study, isn't it, of like kind of Lucy Chambers here. And I just wondered, for you, Jessica, I mean, in turn, it gives you kind of so much to work with. What sort of a gift is a role like this for an actor?
It is going to be hard to find a role after this that has been so challenging and exciting. I feel like I've had to work every kind of facet of this character, and then again with D.I. Chambers, and then, although I know we're not really supposed to talk about it, we have shot series 3, and season 3 Lucy is another completely different character. So I'm not going to miss sitting in the makeup chair for hours and doing those changes, as delightful as that team is, because I'm a doer. I get a bit fidgety if I'm sitting around too long. But yeah, it has been a real career highlight to play Lucy Chambers.
Yeah, and Peter, of all the kind of characters you've embodied across your kind of wonderful career, are there any that kind of spring to mind as real kind of gifts for you and those that you just loved getting your teeth stuck into?
Well, this is a great gift because it's a very dark and but actually quite sympathetic character. Obviously, I think someone like Malcolm Tucker is a wonderful gift that came to me. And if you're an actor, you just you have to be lucky, and I've been very, very lucky. And I was able to turn up one day to audition for that role, and I might have been doing something else, or I might have decided not to go, but I went, and that sort of changed the direction of my professional life and my acting. And so yeah, I'm very fond of Malcolm.
Yeah, I imagine you both kind of get lots of kind of scripts sent your way, and some of which will be great, some of which won't be so great, or maybe just not the right fit. So can you kind of explain that feeling when you read a script and you see a role and you just think, yes, I love this one? What kind of goes through your mind in a moment like that?
I don't know. That does happen very much to me, really. I don't. People always send me things that they want me to be in, but I might not find that there's enough for me to be interested in.
It's funny. I think it comes down to taste, and I can tell within 20 pages normally, and I can really. Even, I know this is a really high concept drama and loads happens, but I can really smell like a plotty drama for the sake of plot. I'm not really interested in that. I love a kind of character driven piece. And I think it just boils down to very good writing, which is kind of a boring answer, but it's the hardest thing to do. So if it's good writing, it instantly springs off the page and you can visualize it and you start feeling it and seeing it, and it is an unexplainable feeling, but you just, all your creative juices kind of start flowing. I think that's when you know it's a good one.
And then just very finally then, I mean, because when it comes to kind of TV shows, I just wondered how you both kind of consume your content. Are you bingers? Have you been known to watch kind of full series across a weekend? Or are you people that quite like to kind of take your time when it comes to watching shows and maybe do them kind of episodically, once a week, for example?
You had a great term for television that was...
Did I?
Balming.
Oh, balming. Yes, I quite like balming things. That's not... those aren't binges. Sometimes late at night I like to calm down. Yeah. I like to have a nice... But I used to binge quite... I binged Game of Thrones. Yeah. I can remember because I was doing Doctor Who at the time, and I'd come back exhausted on a Friday night, and Elaine, my wife, was saying, well, I found this thing called Game of Thrones, and let's watch this. And my God, I think we went through it all, in about 3 weekends.
Oh my God.
So I binged that, yeah. But now I'm less of a binger. Now I'm more of a, let's just calmly go off to sleep. So I'm always looking for a gentle sitcom. A gentle, or a scary thing. My wife doesn't like it, but I quite like it. The Devil's Hour would be for me quite a balming programme.
Yeah.
Because I quite like that sort of scary kind of vibe, sense of unease. And then it ends and I know, oh, it's only pretend.
If something's really, really good, I really want to savour it. I think because I know how long it takes to make something. So it's always slightly gutting when like, oh yeah, I watched that in a night. What, the whole thing? It took 5 months to shoot. Oh, cool. So I really like to savour the greatness of a show and the performances. I'll be like, no, one and done. Let's park it and but I will do like one a week.
That's very generous towards the actors.
Yeah, if it's really good, I want to want to be in it. And then there's this devastating loss when it's over.
Yeah. There's not enough good things. There's not enough time. There's not enough time to watch everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not a huge loss for us fans of The Devil's Hour anyway, because we've got season 2 and then hopefully, obviously, season 3 coming up next. So hopefully we'll catch up again.
Thank you very much. I like your kitchen. Is that your kitchen?
It is, yeah. It's a nice green, isn't it?
It's really
great.
nice.
It's lovely. It looks like that room that we're in season 3.
Oh, Christ, no. Watch season 3 and then you'll see.
Okay. Right, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!